Where's my green screen? Is this your doing?
Hey there, YouTube, Medwitch here. Today I have a very special guest with me, Lailoken. Now, I asked him to come here because if you've been on YouTube for a while, you notice that there's a lot of drama going on between a lot of the communities. Sometimes, even within their own communities. When it starts to flood your trending section, your subscription line, you just gotta make a video of it. So in today's video, I'm going to take the side of the naked ape. The drama is that atheism is unstoppable has been accused of doxing a 14-year-old kid, is being supported by the amazing atheist, and the naked ape just doesn't like this. He believes that it is hypocritical of the amazing atheist to support one member of doxing, while at the exact same time getting on SJW's cases about doxing. I believe that doxing is wrong, no matter the severity of the dox, whether it's just name dropping or going to the person's place of work. It is just not cool at all.
I am going to be taking the position where I'm going to be defending atheism. Atheism is unstoppable. I do not believe that atheism is unstoppable, has doxed anyone. He has been accused of being a racist for basically just repeating FBI stats verbatim. People called him a racist for it. So ever since he did that one video where he mentioned that, he's had to defend himself over and over and over and over again, and many times he is accused by people like, random pokey guy 6432, some weird anonymous name, and this person just basically just flings tomatoes at AIU behind a wall of anonymity. And he got sick of it, and he said, look, if you're going to accuse me of this, at least reveal your true name. And they're like, no, I'm not. I'm going to hide behind my anonymity. And so what he did was he said, well, fine, then I'm going to reveal your name. And that is what he's done.
The amazing atheist uploaded a video titled 27 Questions White Men Have for SJWs, and it was really good, except for the one flaw that it featured the Keemstar of this community. Before this video, I had heard whispers of drama about AIU, but I hadn't really seen any of the evidence or talked about it until I and a few friends were talking about this when Crot mentioned the fact that Devin Tracy, or at least a few of Devin's fans, had his personal information. I started looking out and gathering more information about AIU's doxing habits, and the realization dawned on me that I had shared a Skype room with this guy for some while, and my IP address may have been compromised.
The only thing that he has done is, again, those people who hide behind anonymity and attack him, he has wanted to know, look, this is my true name, what is your true name? Doxing is an internet practice of searching and broadcasting private information, especially personally identifiable information about an individual or organization. Personally identifiable information, or PII, is any information about an individual maintained by an agency, including any information that can be used to distinguish or trace an individual's identity, such as name, social security number, date and place of birth, mother's maiden name, or biometric records. Any other information that is linked to linkable to an individual, such as medical, educational, financial, and employment information, identifiable information.
I actually like how he actually admits on Twitter that he doxed a 14-year-old kid and will dox other kids too. It's absolutely horrible.
At this point, I started asking questions. I simply wanted to know, why is it that a number of larger YouTubers that I enjoy were endorsing someone who doxed, harassed, false flagged, and intimidated people in order to silence them?
Wait a second. When has he harassed anyone, false flagged anyone, or doxed anyone in order to silence them?
When I started asking questions, I was getting the runaround, dismissive offhand comments, cold shoulders, and canned, nearly pre-written sounding responses. But lo and behold, I found an answer in the form of an Ask FM question where TJ responds to the question I wanted to ask.
So essentially, the Naked Ape is asking the exact same question that I ask. Why do you support somebody in your own community of name dropping, doxing? While if an SJW does the exact same thing, oh, whatever, out the window. The amazing atheist answer is, do you want to hold him accountable for his previous transgressions until the end of time? Yes. Yes, I do. We do that with all sorts of criminals. That's the whole point. They do something wrong, you hold it over their head and be like, look, you did something wrong, don't do it again. That's the whole purpose of it.
I know for a fact that if an SJW did the same behavior, they would be ridden out of town on a fucking rail. Why are you giving him a free pass? Why are a lot of people giving him a free pass? Your silence is deafening.
Because he did not do the same thing as other SJWs. For example, the incident that happened between Thunderfoot and Laughing Witch. This is the only person who I know of in this SJW who has been ridden out of town, and basically she did it herself. What AIU has been going through is nothing at all compared to that. He has never sent an email to anyone's work to try and get them fired.
Do you have any idea how ridiculous your crusade has become? I mean, it's so absurd that people have actually attacked Dusty Smith for hanging out with me in New Orleans because I support a doxer.
This is a lie, or at least an untruth. Dusty wasn't attacked for being with you, TJ. Dusty was attacked because he explicitly said on his Twitter that he supports doxing.
Okay, so Cult of Dusty here. I don't agree with him at all in the slightest. I've been called a racist, a misogynist, many different names. But it shouldn't matter. You know, if somebody is going to remain anonymous and start calling you all this bullshit, just ignore it. And if it does blow up a proportion, then you address it and you challenge them. And come out to them and be like, look, give me the evidence, show me what you got, and if you really believe that this is true, come out with your real name. If you remain anonymous, stuff you say obviously is not true.
He made a video about why anonymity was valuable, and then Devin's fans doxed him. TJ, Devin has explicitly endorsed doxing, and his fans are doxing people right now. Your entire video shows a glaring lack of respect for freedom of speech, and an ignorant lack of responsibility for the protection of freedom of speech.
So, first of all, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, other social medias like this are not covered by freedom of speech. Yes, we all can hide behind a screen name. However, people can find out who owns those screen names. The notion that we have anonymity is a misnomer. We don't have anonymity online. People can still find out who we are. And finally, the responsibility for your actions. If you accuse someone of doing something or being something and you remain anonymous, you are not an adult.
You also misrepresent the truth. You have been playing apologetics for Devin's behavior for a long time now, and this is just another example of it. You have explicitly said that you have more of a problem with Devin Tracy being censored than when Devin Tracy tries to censor people.
First of all, AIU has never tried to censor anyone. If anything, he has said, look, if you're going to call me this, at least put your real name with it.
Devin Tracy is censoring people. Doxing people is a form of intimidation to try and silence them. That is censorship.
Okay, again, there's revealing people's names, and then there's doxing people. Doxing is a very specific, illegal activity.
I'm unaware of anyone being killed or losing their job because of Devin Tracy. I think that I'm unaware of it because it didn't fucking happen.
You're right. In the case of AIU, nothing happened to the person he doxed. Something did happen to AIU, but not the kid he doxed. However, doxing has led to people losing their jobs, losing friends and family, and losing their place here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, wherever. And you have to remember that not everybody on YouTube lives in America. As much as you wish to believe that, YouTube is worldwide, except in North Korea. There's a lot of countries that don't support freedom of speech or freedom of expression.
TJ, Krot lives in Germany. Krot could go to jail. Krot could be killed. And he could be killed because Devin Tracy supports doxing.
So you are using these hypotheticals. And these hypotheticals are just these concepts up in the ether which you are talking about. The truth of the matter is the only person who has actually been doxed and swatted is AIU.
Why is it that when Jenny McDermott gets banned for doxing people, everyone celebrates? But when Devin got his Twitter banned for doing the same thing, TJ said that banning his Twitter was too harsh.
I actually agree with the amazing atheist on this. You see, AIU doxed a kid. The transgression happened on YouTube's platform, not Twitter's platform. So yes, having AIU's Twitter banned, that's just ridiculous. Why do that? That's like me robbing some old lady in New York, and then the LAPD wants to arrest and charge me for that crime. It doesn't make sense.
I've been asking this question every video I make, and that is, why is almost everyone silent about the issue of Devin Tracy? Even if they disagree with me about TJ, why haven't a lot of people called out Devin for his shit behavior?
People who have an ounce of intelligence understand that doxing is revealing PII, personal identifiable information. Revealing someone's name is not doxing.
As much as some people deny it, we all have some sort of vague community of people who subscribe to one another's content, talk with one another on Twitter, and perform collaborations with one another. I had thought that the core principle of this community was the ultimate value of freedom of speech and the open exchange of ideas. I thought that these were the shared values that brought us all together. I believe fundamentally in these values. I extend these values of freedom of speech to SJWs, regressives, communists, and even people who argue for curtailing these values with censorship.
You gotta remember, Naked Ape, not everybody does feel the way that you and I would. Where yes, this should be a place where we can come and exchange ideas, open new trains of thought, argue those trains of thoughts and ideas, and of course use our freedom of expression to obviously express ourselves. In most cases, this just doesn't happen.
Every single opinion deserves the right to exist, and the sanctity of a person's mind and speech should never be violated.
However, this goal of yours is going to be achieved by banning AIU from YouTube?
My problem with social justice is not the ideology itself, because I believe every ideology deserves the right to exist. It's the actions that this ideology supports that I have a problem with. Any ideology that could support these actions is an ideology that goes against my fundamental values.
And yet you are calling for the censorship of an individual.
Then why is it that in the case of atheism is unstoppable, people are accepting his ideology because they agree with it, despite the fact that his actions are tantamount to censorship?
You are being a hypocrite here.
Supporting and endorsing somebody for having an ideology you agree with, despite their censorship, is the same shit that SJWs do, and it makes you at least just as bad as them, if not worse, for being a hypocrite.
I don't agree with this point. AIU, as far as I know, has only doxed one kid. SJWs, on the other hand, have doxed, or more accurately, tried to dox people constantly. Not just, the whole group of SJWs. I mean, like, individuals. Constantly. So I do not agree that AIU or Amazing Atheist is just as bad or worse than an SJW for doxing one kid.
Intimidating your ideological opponents into silence is fascism. And the fucking irony of fucking TJ letting fascism slide at the same time calling Donald Trump a fascist at every turn is fucking palpable. An attack on anyone's freedom of speech through intimidation or any other means is an attack on all of our freedom of speech.
Doxing is a form of censorship because it does intimidate another person into fearing for their livelihood, their friends, their families, everything.
The second is apathy. Saying that you won't fight this censorship, this intimidation and harassment until it affects you directly is chicken shit. But like they say, at first they doxed the 14-year-old boys and I was silent. But for other people, you're simply not willing to, quote, police communities, unquote. What a load of bullshit. You are perfectly willing to police the SJW community whenever they do these bad actions. But the fucking second you're asked to police your own community, I'm not my brother's keeper.
I wholeheartedly agree with this. The SJW and the anti-SJW communities have been at each other's throats forever. Just forever. And the anti-SJW will go over to the SJW side and be like, you're fucked up, you're doing this wrong. While the SJW side will go to the anti-side and be like, false flag, report you, dox you, do all this other shitty shit. But then when the anti-SJW community does something wrong, which is a single individual does something wrong, like dox, it's like, whatever, I don't care. If I did anything, any shitty behavior, I would expect the community I'm in to, come up to me and be like, hey, witch, you're fucked up. You fucked up. Don't do it again.
The six is the fans. They only see you as some venue to feminist ponage, and that's all they want to see.
This is absolutely true. I am subscribed to all three of these channels. All three of them do have very great content, especially when it comes to anti-SJW, anti-Black Lives Matter, and anti-feminism. Amazing. I implore you to go check them out.
Alright, so anyhow, so to summarize my position, AIU has never doxed anyone. He's had to defend his position for basically being the messenger. And people have accused him of being racist and all these things where he is not. So he's had people who want to remain anonymous accuse him of some pretty serious things. When he tries to defend himself, they want to hide behind that wall of anonymity. Again, that wall of anonymity is an illusion. None of us online are anonymous. We are, however, legally protected to have certain private individual information protected, which should not be revealed. So, thank you so much, and thank you, Madwitch, for having me on. It's kind of unusual. I missed my green screen, but this was an adventure. So, thank you all.
Doxing is a form of censorship. When you dox somebody, you reveal a portion or all of their personal information. Depending on the severity, it is illegal. Name dropping isn't illegal. However, in the YouTube community guidelines, it is wrong. That is very shitty. The reason why we hide behind a name, and in some cases behind a mask, is because we don't want people to know who we are. Most of the times, we don't even want to be famous. We just want to get our word out there, and that is it. And we don't want to have that possibility of someone being so offended and so outraged and keyboard warrior type people harassing us in our day-to-day lives. And that is why anonymity is so important within the YouTube community and any social media platform. All the other 3 YouTubers that were basically debating, I guess you can say, down there as well, so you can check them out and make up your own mind and your own opinion so you can actually get the whole story. So much YouTube watching. You're probably just going to sit there anyways and binge watch PewDiePie or some shit. Naked Ape's video will be in the description below. That is how you'll find his channel. Again, Lailoken, thank you for being here. It has been a real pleasure, and I hope my subscribers have enjoyed a brand new Madwitch channel. More things are to come.